I just feel like society should be open to, it's okay to separate if you all realize that you are actually terrible for each other. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, Beautifully Nerding, and welcome back to another episode of Blassic Reacts. So this is a series on my channel where I watch classic black movies from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s that I never saw when I was younger. I talk about them, I dive deep from a 2024 lens. My current goal is to be able to watch and fully understand all of the references that are in Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. But a lot of those movies are very, very tough, very heavy, very hard to watch. This week I decided instead to watch something a little bit lighter. I watched 1998's How Stella Got Her Groove Back, starring Angela Bassett, Taye Diggs, Regina King, Whoopi Goldberg, a whole host of other people. And we are going to talk spoilers because I severely need to talk about the end of this movie. I know a lot of people have seen this movie. There are still some people like me who have not seen this movie at all. So buckle up, buttercups, because we are going for a ride. So we start with Stella, who is a very successful day trader. Like, she has the earpiece, like she's walking around like, get Stevens 10 million on the 2/28/99. I don't know. There was numbers and dates, and she was saying all the things. I was like, okay, girl, you go, Stella. You know what you doing. Like, she's like the top dog, takes no names. Like, even her boss is like, hey, I kind of need you for something because I did some things wrong and I need your help. But it is her day off. She is in the office, but it's her day off, setting the tone for how much she works and how her career is at the absolute forefront of her life. So the boss comes to ask for her help, and she's like, I can come help you, but I am running late for an appointment that I cannot miss. What is this appointment? It's a spa day with her sisters, aka an exposition dump for us. So during this exposition dump, we find out that Stella has a son named Quincy. Her and Quincy's dad separated some time ago. I'm not quite sure if they said how long ago, but it's been a while. Stella has a sister named Angela but she's very pregnant. Very, very pregnant. Then we have Vanessa, who was kind of like just a vibe, but she's also very terrible with money. Like, she's always like, so this is your treat, right? Because, you know, what's his name ain't sending the money for the kids, so I'm a little funny with money right now. It seems like you a little funny with money in general. The sisters are pushing Stella to start dating again because she needs a man. Quincy needs a father, all this stuff, and, you know, all the things that society says that a woman has to have to be complete. And Stella is happy and satisfied with her life the way it is. So Quincy is actually on the way to go see his dad, like spend a couple of weeks with his dad. Even the baby knows how uptight his mama can be. And when he's getting on the plane, he's like, you know, promise me that you'll have some fun while I'm gone. Like, you know, like, enjoy yourself.
I want you to try to have some fun while I'm gone, okay?
Sure.
Well, I mean it.
I know.
And I'm like, God dang, even from the mouth of babes, like, everybody is like, Stella, you gotta take some time for yourself, girl. You just work too much. And I'm just like, okay, like, maybe Stella is enjoying her time. But everyone's like, you need a vacation. So Stella goes home. She sees a commercial for, like, a vacation in Jamaica. She's so deeply watching the commercial that she starts to see herself in the commercial. And she calls up her best friend and is like, oh my gosh, girl, let's go to Jamaica. But then she immediately regrets and is like, never mind. I don't even have time to go to Jamaica. Just forget I even called. But then her friend Delilah calls back and is like, I'm just going to act like that second message didn't happen. We're going to Jamaica. Pack your bags. You have the PTO. You have the money. Stop being cheap. Let's go. So they get on the plane, go to Jamaica. Delilah was already there, like at the bar, waiting for Stella to show up. And it's like, look, we about to have a hot girl week. I need you to get on board. And Stella's like, I just want to read, run, and relax. And I'm just like, wait, so you went all the way to Jamaica just to read and relax? Baby girl, you could have saved a flight and a resort fee just staying in the house. Like, that's not what we're doing. That's absolutely not what we're doing. And Delilah's like, I guess, but we gonna turn up too. After they unpack and whatnot, Stella goes for a run on the beach. And when she comes back for breakfast, she locks eyes with the baby Taye Diggs. I'm like, he looks so young. Because I know Taye Diggs. Like, I've seen him in other stuff. And, like, I know what Taye Diggs looks like now. So, like, seeing him as, like, literal, like, baby Taye Diggs, I was like, that's so adorable. So, his character's name is Winston. They lock eyes, and he comes over to her table to start talking to her. And, like, there's some, like, playful, albeit defensive on Stella's side, back and forth banter. And then Winston says that he is 20. I fully did the Kevin Hart, damn, because I knew that there was an age difference. I just did not realize that it was that vast, because Stella is 40 or 41, and then Winston is 20. And me as a 31-year-old, I can't see myself talking to a 20-year-old. So the fact that she just didn't get up immediately and was like, no, thank you, and walk off. Like, yeah, I know you have your hot girl vacation, but she does snap out of her fantasy long enough to have a little bit of like realism. And she goes to try to like excuse herself from the table. And Winston's like, hey, like there's a pajama party later, you should come through. So we cut over to the beach where Delilah is entertaining these two dudes she was trying to show Stella earlier. Cause like she found some like guys for them to, I guess, spend the week with in Jamaica, but they're also like they're from the greater 48, so it's just like, and so it's these two like washed up like retired football players that Stella wants nothing to do with because she knows what's waiting for her later. And so we get to this party, she starts like dancing with Winston like she's trying to save space for Jesus. Like, girl, this is not middle school, like bring it on in. It don't last long at all. And even Delilah, like she cracks a few jokes of like he looks like he's 7 years old. Delilah does eventually push her friend to have some fun because she also knows how uptight and tense and stressed out Stella has been. You can already tell that like Winston is far more invested in Stella and a possibility of a relationship way more than Stella is invested. And to me, it gave, let me plot to see how I can get to America. That's what I got. If that's what it meant, who knows? Now, I will talk later about the actual real life of it all because I was talking to some friends about it recently because I was like, I just watched this movie and I'm really just trying to understand the ending because I don't understand why it ended like that. And then they were telling me about how it was a book, which granted, had I just fully paid attention, I would have seen that it was based on a book written by Terry McMillan, but I fully missed that completely. Because even in like the real life story, it definitely gave like, I just need to get to the next step. And you seem to be a good way to get there. But we're going to talk about that later. Stella and Winston do end up doing the old horizontal tango. They have some pillow talk afterward. We learn that Stella used to want to make furniture, but she ended up in money markets because, you know, you got to make money. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So she's going to be making furniture again by the end of the movie. Bet. Don't know how we're going to get there, but she's making furniture. So Winston, who is from and lives in Jamaica, the reason he was at the resort in the first place was because he was trying to get a job. And so he does actually get the job. He gets hired as assistant head chef, which now means that he no longer has time for Stella because the person who he is replacing like left at the last minute, so they need him to jump like immediately into the spot that was made open. He's like, oh, I have like 2 hours free, but I'm on call like every day. And Stella's just like, you know what? This was a cute little moment. We're going to go ahead and call it quits. You don't have time. I need to get back to reality. This was cute. Do your thing. And then Stella and Delilah go and sit by the water. And Delilah can see, you know, Stella is really sad that she doesn't get to play with her little boy toy anymore. And she's just like, you know, he makes you happy. Like, call him back. And at first I was like, I'm not going to call him back. Like, I feel like a fool chasing after this little boy. But she does end up trying to call him back. When she calls the kitchen, he's not there. It's so funny going back and watching these movies like with a cell phone, and it's just like, why didn't she just call him? And it's like, oh, because not everyone had a phone in their pocket at the time. She takes not being able to get in touch with him while he's working as a sign, finishes her vacation, goes back home. And her sisters are literally waiting for her at the door to grill and also to judge her because they found out that she was, you know, having fun with Winston while she was in Jamaica. So I believe that the sister order is Angela, Stella, and Vanessa. Angela, feeling like she's somebody's mama, was like, I can't believe you would do that. How desperate are you? And I'm just like, hold on, Miss Ma'am. Like, all she did was have some fun. Like, relax. Now, personally, I feel like Stella would have been completely justified in snatching that wig right off her head because she fully deserved it. But she's much better than me because all she did was get in her face and, like, wag her finger a little bit. Me, myself, personally, I would have walked away. But my initial thought would be, like, I would love to snatch your wig off your head right now. I wouldn't have done it, but I would have been justified if I did. Stella goes back to work. And somehow in the week that she was on vacation, her job is just like, oh, well, you know, we decided to cut back on redundancies and you are fired.
Sit down, Stella.
I don't feel like sitting. Just tell me what's going on.
Look, our numbers are down. As you know, we've had 3 rough quarters. The merger with Thorson Bendit, Jerry went for it. So to avoid a redundancy at the upper levels, it's one of ours, one of theirs.
And Stella is like, what you not finna do is just fire me? Like, I haven't been the most profitable piece of this company. I will be selling. So now she has no job and she's also paying lawyer fees for things. So she kind of like has that talk with her son of like, you know, we do have to cut back a little bit. And like, you know, we're still comfortable. You know, mommy saved for a rainy day, but we do have to make a couple of changes. So just relax a little bit. And then Stella's about to go for a run and the phone rings and Quincy answers it and he's like, Mama, it's for you. It's some dude with an accent. And I'm like, how did this man get her personal home phone number? And she answers the phone, hears his voice. She about turned into a puddle of mush. And then he's like, oh, Delilah gave me your number. Delilah, like, can you zip it for like 3 seconds? Because I'm over here thinking this boy done went and got the records from when she booked the trip to Jamaica. I'm thinking he doing stuff that's slick illegal, but definitely frowned upon. But no, just Delilah was like, here, call her. Don't be giving out my number to people, my home number. Have you lost your mind? And then Winston is like, oh, I can take leave in about 3 months, or you could just come to Jamaica. And Stella was like, oh, well, Quincy was saying that we should take a trip to Jamaica. And I'm just like, didn't you just tell Quincy that y'all ain't got vacation money? Like, God, what are you talking about right now? Obviously, my logic does not matter because the scenery changes and we are back in Jamaica. First of all, how long has it been? How much time is passing right now? Because did you just get back? Like, how? You literally, you got back home, got grilled by your sisters, lost your job, and now you're going back to Jamaica. Huh? They get there. It's Stella, her son Quincy, her niece Chantel, and then Winston. I don't know how she's affording this. Like, granted, like, you had the money saved up, but like, you were bleeding through your savings right now. But Winston decides to surprise Stella with a dinner at his parents' house, and Stella is like, you didn't tell me nothing about this. We could have talked about it. You could have asked me how I felt about meeting your parents. The way you went about this was really immature. Like, Stella is upset. Winston's parents are not a fan of Stella being 20 plus years his senior. Which, fair. And then Stella and the mom end up having a conversation because like the dad is just like, I mean, yeah, she is older than you, but like, you grown, so do what you want to do. The mama is full boy mom.
I could beat around the bush, but it's not my style. So how old are you, Stella?
I'm 40.
I'm 41. Are you American women so desperate these days that you can't find a man your own age?
No.
Then what could you possibly want with my baby?
He's not a baby.
That is not the right answer. Like, that is absolutely the wrong answer. So they get back to the villa. They have like their big old argument, And it's already starting there. The only real draw that I'm seeing between the two of them is the sexual chemistry, but then also that like Winston has manners and like talks to her decently. Like other than that, I'm really not understanding what's happening. I think like Stella is like, this is fun, and Winston's like, let me find an old biddy that'll let me come to America. That's what I'm getting the entire time. The argument does get cut short because Stella has to return a call that she got from a doctor at a hospital in New York City about Delilah. So, sidebar. Delilah is very sick. And I noticed this immediately. You know how like sometimes a movie will give you like, but like they'll give you breadcrumbs of like, keep this in mind while you're watching the movie. I feel like these breadcrumbs were like 4-day-old stale loaves of bread that we got smacked over the head with. I feel like it was very obvious that Delilah was sick. Obviously, it was supposed to be some big twist. When they first got to the island and were getting ready, like Stella was unpacking, Delilah made a passing comment about her health. And I was like, oh Lord, she gonna die. I already know what's finna happen. It's not finna go well. Later, when they were sitting and having their heart-to-heart moment after Stella was like, you know, she probably should break up with Winston, Delilah stands up and like looks off at the side of the cliff and is like, God is here. What? Like, and it was just like, it was legitimately out of nowhere. And I feel like it was supposed to be read as like, oh, this scenery is so beautiful, like God is here in this scenery. But no, it's like God is here and he's very close to taking me back with him. Like, why? Like, it was just so random for her to have said that. There was one time where when Stella went back to Jamaica, Delilah called her to like check in or whatever. She's literally in the hospital. And granted, she never said to Stella, I'm in the hospital. But like, there's like all these things going on. Like the nurse is in there doing stuff, fiddling with stuff. She like rips open the cuff, which the sound of Velcro being ripped is very loud. I don't know how Stella didn't hear any of this. And then like, girl, where are you? When she calls the doctor back and the doctor's like, oh, you know, Delilah has taken a turn for the worse. And Stella's like, what are you talking about? And the doctor's like, I thought you knew. She said that she told you like you're listed as her next of kin. Like you should probably get here as soon as possible. Like your best friend for decades is sick and was just like not even necessarily like lying to you, but like didn't want to worry you, so kept it to herself. So was holding all of that in and just supporting you and your foolishness. And then that's how you find out from some doctor. Stella is able to get back to New York and is able to be there for Delilah in her last moments. They have a service for her. It's very beautiful. Winston is able to get there. How did you afford to pay for that? Because, and then also, you don't have leave yet. Because you just said in 3 months, I could take leave. Or you could come here now. And then she came to Jamaica. But then now you're in... Okay. Not sure how that's happening. But whatever. After the service, she goes to drop off, and I believe the niece is Vanessa's daughter, so the youngest sister's daughter. They're just kind of like sitting there talking, and Stella really doesn't want to go because obviously Winston's here. She's not ready for everyone to meet Winston. Like, even though she was forced to meet his family, like she's not ready, but the family does not care, and they literally all come out to the car and are like, are you going to get out the car now or should we drag you out? But they do eventually get out the car. They go to the barbecue. Everyone has a good time. Winston's able to win everybody over, including Quincy, which is a big ass for an 11-year-old. They take their bags to the house. They're chilling. So I did he buy a one-way ticket? Now that I think about it, because like that's a lot. That's a heavy bet to hedge on. Like, mans was plotting the whole time. Like, Stella and Winston go out to dinner and they have this big argument where they finally are releasing their feelings that they've been holding on to. Stella is like, she's really feeling this age difference because, you know, he's either playing video games with Quincy or he's eating dry cereal or just doing some other immature thing. She got to beg him to take the trash out. And he's like, well, everything has to be your way or no way. You talk to me as if I'm a child. You don't know if you want me to be a child or a man. Granted, I feel like Winston wasn't really saying nothing besides, I can't do what I want to do. And it's like, you got to hold up your ways. You got to do something. And Winston was like, why do you have to always pay for everything? And Stella was like, because you can't afford it. Which, granted, because does he have a job now? Like, how long have you been back now? Like, have you been applying for jobs? Are you just chilling? Like, what money do you have to be paying for dates? So that's what started the whole big argument. They do go back home and they make up or whatever. And then Winston shows her this new table that he bought her so that Stella could start back making furniture. Like, he straightened up the whole, like, little work guest house she shed thing, whatever, cleaned it all up, bought her a new table. And I'm like, cool, where did you get the money for this? Like, I'm just really not understanding how Winston is paying for anything. Later, Stella gets a proposition to come back to work because they're like, oh, you know, since you've been gone, we realize how valuable of an asset you are. Of course you did. And Stella's like, no, I'm good. Which was a big worry for her because she was definitely like, so what exactly am I going to do now? And then she gets back home and Winston proposes. And Stella's like, I mean, I love you and everything, but like, I still have a few reservations. So like, just give me some time, which is fair. But my thing is, if you are not 100% sure that this person is going to say yes, do not ask. Cause like, how do you come back from that? Like, how do you just be like, oh, okay, yeah, like I asked to spend the rest of my life with you and you said no, and we just chilling now. What? But also, my thing is, so Winston had some kind of money to try to pay for the date. Don't know where he got that from. Winston had enough money to buy her this new crafting table, which if you've done any kind of DIY woodworking, like, you know that these things are not cheap. Where'd you get that money from? Got her an engagement ring. Where are you getting this money from? My only thing I could think is that he's using her money to get her this stuff. Which in that case, I don't want nothing from you. Because I could have bought myself an engagement ring. If that was the thing, like, I'm so frustrated with this relationship at this point that I'm just like, I'm not rooting for it at all. I'm just like, I really need y'all to break up. I need this to not happen in the least bit. Some time passes. There's like an event happening at, I want to say, Quincy's school. Stella is, you know, networking with all the parents because, like, you know, she's a parent, like, she's been there, she knows all the people. And Winston's just kind of sitting by himself because he don't know nobody, ain't nobody talking to him. Like, you could have said hey to a dad or somebody, like. And so he's in his feelings, trying to start arguing, then talking sideways out his mouth when Quincy is like, hey, don't talk to my mama like that. And he's like, butt out, boy.
Last week I asked you to marry me, okay? For you to spend the rest of your life with me, and I don't have an answer.
Do we have to talk
now,
about
how long
it
do
now?
I have to wait for an answer? Should I pretend that I didn't even ask? Huh? So you can be so selfish
Look,
and
don't
so
you talk
cold.
to my mama
Relax,
like
I'm
that.
talking to your mom
Well,
now.
look, I'm talking to you. Who the hell
Quincy,
do
you
think
need to
you
jump
are?
back,
Wait a
boy.
minute, you don't speak to my son in that tone of voice.
Yeah, because I don't appreciate it.
Shut up, Quincy.
And Stella was like, what you not finna do is talk to my son like you ain't got no sense. And I'm like, there we go. That's grounds for breakup right there. Break up with that man. She did not. They go home. They make up. Like, Winston is taking a shower. And I guess, like, Stella is like feeling a type of way that she hurt his feelings. Fully clothed, she steps into the shower as well, takes the bar of soap and starts like soaping him up or whatever. And I'm just like, and then the next day they have a deep conversation about how they're at two completely different points in their life and how Winston is going to go back to Jamaica and go to medical school because, you know, that's what his parents want. And granted, it's not necessarily what he wants. He knows that Stella needs someone who isn't an additional stressor to her life. And, you know, Stella's all like, oh, like, you're not an additional stressor. But if you feel like it's best for you to go to, you know, go back home, then sure. Which, why you lying to that man? He's done nothing but stress you out since he's been here. You pretty much adopted another son when you went to Jamaica and found this little boy. You don't have to lie to protect his feelings. You're not an additional stressor. Yes, he is. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, wow. Like, because I looked at the time and there was legit maybe like 5 minutes left in the movies. And I'm like, oh, there's nothing left but credits. Like, this is a great way to end this movie. Like, you know, the two main characters have a very deep, very open, very honest conversation about what the other truly needs and how they cannot give each other what they need, and that it's best for them to go their own separate ways. I was so ecstatic. I was like, yes, this is what we need. This is how movies need to end. And then he goes to the airport, and I was like, why are we still watching this? There's traffic on the way to the airport. It's raining. Why are we still watching this? He gets to the airport. Do you have your ticket, sir? Oh, yes, here it is. Go to gate 7. Why are we still watching this? Why is stuff still happening right now? That is because we look over at the stairs. Angela is already there. Have you considered Stanford? I know you did not race to the airport to beat this man here, to tell him not to leave, when all y'all have done is horizontal tango and argue. That's how the movie ends. She runs into his arms. They hug, swing around, and the only people left in the airport. It's all beautiful because they only have eyes for each other. And that's how the movie ends. I wanted to throw my laptop across the room. I was so mad. Like, because at first I was like, wow, he seems really invested in his relationship very quickly. Like the love bombing was coming immediately. I don't know. I was like, how is he this, like, how does he love her this hard, this quickly? Because it's never love. It's always an ulterior motive. And his ulterior motive was to get to the next phase of his life. And then when I was talking to my friend about it, and she was like, oh, it's based off of a story. And what actually happened was that, so Jonathan is Winston in real life, and then Terry is Stella in real life. So Jonathan ended up divorcing Stella, filed for spousal support and all that good stuff, won, and then Terry ended up suing Jonathan and was like, maybe for defamation, I don't know, but like to clear up all the stuff that happened with him divorcing her. And I was just like, this is too much. And it just amplified everything from the movie of like, this was all for fake. And granted, while Angela could have went about it a lot better, she was right the whole time of being like, this don't spark you as strange in any type of way. Like, you ain't scared. And Stella was like, yeah, I'm scared. It's like, listen to yourself then. But no, she had to go and follow her heart. And it's just like, so did you even start back making your furniture? Like, how are you getting money? Because you got this grown kid to take care of now, plus your actual kid. I was just so upset at how it ended. If it would have ended right when he got in the taxi, and then we like flashed forward and she was like happily doing her furniture thing, and like maybe she started dating someone else, or like maybe she's spending more time with her sisters and her family, and like she's finding a better balance, and like that was Stella's groove that she got back, was being able to balance everything and not putting all of her self-worth into work. Then maybe. But the fact you ran to this airport and chased after that man. Well, yes, that is how Stella got her groove back. Y'all keep Stella in your prayers, because that wasn't it. Let me know how you all enjoyed or did not enjoy the movie. If you all have never seen it, are you gonna see it? If y'all have any recommendations of what I should watch next, please leave any of that down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.